The president of the Florida Senate says he is very open to a controversial suggestion from the commission investigating the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School massacre. That group is recommending arming some teachers. Under the commission's proposal, teachers who volunteer and undergo extensive training would be allowed to carry concealed handguns at school. Most of its members say an armed teacher might have been able to stop Nicholas Cruz in the time he spent reloading. The commission today also reached many other conclusions. In a letter to the commission investigating the Parkland shootings, Broward Schools Superintendent Robert Runcie told members that Broward Schools is planning to make some major safety changes recommended by the commission. Specifically, they are discussing adding hard corners or safe spaces inside classrooms, allowing any staff member to call a code red, and giving the Broward Sheriff's Office access to live video feeds from schools during threats.
They're extremely significant to making the school safer.
Lori Al-Hadef's daughter, Alyssa, was murdered at the school. Al-Hadef is now a Broward School Board member. She says hard corners might have saved her daughter.
She was shot the first time, and the shooter went across the hallway, and he came back at her again, and she didn't move, and she was in the direct line of fire. But if that hard corner was there, she could have ran to that area and hypothetically could still be alive today.
Gina Montalto was murdered at Stoneman Douglas. Her father, Tony, says he believes the work of the MSD Commission pushed the Broward School District to make these safety changes and that they are long overdue.
I'm disappointed that it took them almost 10 months to realize that something needed to be done.
The school district also announced it would hire an outside investigative firm to look into their policies related to the shooting and educational history of the confessed shooter Nicholas Cruz. During Thursday's commission meeting, commissioners took up the issue of law enforcement response in their draft recommendations. They criticized the actions of BSO Sergeant Brian Miller, the first ranking officer on the scene who heard gunshots, then took up a position away from the school and did not move.
Sergeant Miller refused and failed to accept responsibility for the scene, period.
The commission also labeled BSO Parkland Captain Jan Jordan as ineffective and requested that BSO conduct an internal review of 7 deputies and their actions on the day of the shooting. Jan Jordan has resigned from BSO, and Sergeant Brian Miller has been placed on administrative duty. The commission said BSO's active shooter policy, which says deputies may confront an active shooter rather than shall confront an active shooter, gave deputies cover to avoid going into the freshman building.
And they decided to be cowards instead of going in and being heroes.
The Code Red and hard corner policies were discussed at a Broward School Board workshop earlier this week, and the district tells CBS 4 News it will begin implementing them after the holiday break.